and Julie, and it's my honor to introduce Cassie Edler, who will share her inspiring story.
Good afternoon, fighters, survivors, friends, and family. It is an honor to be standing here in front of you today at the Joliet Relay for Life 2017. My name is Cassandra Edler. I am 26 years old, born and raised right here in Joliet. I have been in remission now for 15 years. It definitely doesn't feel that long ago, but I have come a long way in the process. Before I start, I just wanted to say how wonderful it is to see all the purple among us, as well as the amount of white. Purple cannot exist without you white t-shirts, so thank you. Today, I would like to share with you some things I have learned as a cancer survivor. I am going to separate cancer and survivor from one another and talk about them individually. First, we have cancer, a word that carries a lot of weight in our hearts and minds. When we hear this word, what are some of the things that come to your mind? I, for instance, think of pain, long nights of being sick, many nights, weeks, or months in a hospital bed, and the poking and prodding of needles, all of which seems to be endless. Another thing that immediately pops into my mind was the first time I heard that word, cancer. It's a day I'll never forget, and if you ask any survivor, they'll remember too, as if it were yesterday. My day was February 17th, 2000. I was 9 years old, sitting in my pediatrician's office, waiting to schedule a tonsillectomy, when my mom pointed out these peculiar purple pinprick-sized dots. She explained I had been complaining of my ankles hurting, followed by pain in my tailbone, where not too long after these dots appeared on my ankles and soon began to spread over my body. Once he saw them, he knew what the signs meant. My doctor wanted to make sure and called in 2 other doctors to confirm his findings. They said the word cancer, a word most 9-year-olds have never heard before. I remember my mom breaking down in tears and I not really understanding what was going on. Turns out those purple little dots are called petechiae and are an indication of cancer. Immediately I was brought to St. Joe's Hospital to confirm the diagnosis of acute lymphocytic leukemia, mostly known as ALL. Then was transported by ambulance to Chicago's Children's Memorial Hospital to begin treatment. Going through cancer at such a young age shapes your way of looking at life because it takes so much from you. Things a 9-year-old should be doing, like playing outside with other kids, I wasn't able to do because my immune system was too weak, or I would be so ill from chemo and radiation that I could barely function. I missed out on a lot of school, which honestly as a 9-year-old wasn't all too bad. But I missed being able to play sports and just plainly missed being a kid. Cancer made me miss out on a lot of things, but it also gave me opportunities like through Dream Flight, which allowed my mom and I to go to Disney World with a group of cancer patients. Also, I was granted a Make-A-Wish where my family was able to go on vacation to Honolulu, Hawaii. I had the opportunity to attend 2 camps for kids with cancer, Camp Quality out in Frankfurt, and One Step at a Time out of Chicago's Children's Oncology, Inc. All of which are run because of fundraising, donations, and volunteers, just like here at Relay. Through these experiences, being a kid was possible. The camps made it possible to make connections with other kids my own age who understood what I was going through, a place where I could feel safe. Camp is where I started to realize the importance of human connections. The connection shared among campers and counselors helped me to take the weight off my shoulders and was then instead shared between us all so that no one would feel alone. Being connected helps to ease the pain and is what brings us to Relay today. A person I share a connection with is the woman who asked me to speak here today, Julie Sturr. She is someone I have known for the majority of my life. Her daughter Jessica and I were in the same grade and were very close friends. I spent many nights over at their house, sleepovers, birthday parties, etc. Mainly I remember both of them being very present for me and my family after my diagnosis. Julie, I am so thankful to you and Jessica for being there. And thank you so much for asking me to be here today on this stage. For the first time you told me how much you admired me and when I was going through treatment for my courage and my strength. Who knew that things would turn around and you get your diagnosis of breast cancer? I, in turn, have admired your strength, your courage to not just go through cancer once, but multiple times. Cancer connected us without cognitive awareness, and I'm so proud to be able to stand here with you on this stage as two survivors. You have done more than you know for me and this community. No doubt in my mind that it was right that you be the first recipient of the Glenn Markham Award. Now I will talk about what being a survivor means. Being a survivor is having the ability to overcome the negativity of the word cancer and looking at it in a new light. I'm sure Julie and all you survivors will agree, going through cancer was not a walk in the park. But if there had been a do-over button, I know I would go through it all again. Because without cancer, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't have the connections I have today. I see the world differently and try to live life to its fullest. Being a survivor gives you perspective on what is important in life, and you are given a second chance. I would like to point out all the purple shirts in the crowd. We are survivors. And it's an amazing thing, yes. And it's an amazing thing to see that you are here today, celebrating life and celebrating loved ones who may not be here with us today. It's uplifting. You may not know it, but those of you in white shirts, you're survivors too. Hear this. According to the dictionary, the definition of survivor is a person who survives, especially a person remaining after an event in which others have passed. Meaning you are here. You are celebrating the life and for a loved one, whether they are physically here or not. The most important thing is that you never gave up on us. Cancer doesn't just change the patient's life, it alters the people around them. As someone in a white shirt, you have to watch a person you love go through hell, all while keeping a positive attitude, telling us everything will be okay as you hold our hand. You make sure to cry behind closed doors to keep our hope our strength, and our courage up. You are our biggest cheerleader. Being in a white shirt, you don't just have to survive the process. You have to watch loved ones go through this ordeal, but you may also have to survive the loss of the loved one. Once cancer has touched your life, you do not know just one person, but many who have lost their battle. And every time you have to survive each and every loss. We all have to learn to go on in life with a void in our hearts, carrying on the ability to come together to celebrate life, which in turn makes us all survivors. Surviving a loss is one of the hardest things I've had to do. And being here at the Relay for Life is hard for me without Glenn. Many of you know him and quite possibly is the reason you started a team and participate in Relay every year. Glenn is my connection to Relay. He was the one who invited me to be on his team, the Marching Markhams. And I was so distraught when I heard of his passing in November 2016. His amount of dedication to Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society is untouchable in my book. Aside from his family, he loved nothing more than to serve his community, and he is someone to admire and aspire to. For me, Relay will not be the same without him. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Markham family today, and I hope you know how much he meant to many of us here. Because of Glenn and the American Cancer Society, we have the ability to be here today to make these special and unique connections. More of us are here in purple shirts because of the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life. The ACS is helping to preserve these connections we make here today by funding cancer research with a donation of 97 cents per dollar. That is amazing. The importance of funding for cancer research is monumental, because without you, without Julie, without Glenn, I would not be standing here today. I would not want to be anywhere else right now than right here remembering and celebrating life with you. The biggest thing I'd like for you to take away from this is to know we can survive. I explained what cancer meant, what we think about the first time we heard the word, the vivid memories of your diagnosis, what it takes from you, but also what it gives you. Cancer gives you connections to others, whether you are the one going through cancer or a family member or friend. We are connected through cancer. And then I described what it means to be a cancer survivor, that we see life through a new perspective, we choose to live life to the fullest, but I also explained that to be a survivor, you don't have to be the one with the diagnosis. We all lose something, but we also have something to gain, perspective. So in conclusion, let's put cancer survivor in a new perspective and break them down as one word. What do we get? Can survive. Let me break this down quickly. Can, which is the ability to. Serve, meaning over or above. And vive, meaning live or long life. We can survive, meaning we have the ability to overcome and live life. We are fighters, we are survivors, we are family, we are one. Thank you.